Kanpai!
Kanpai!
Got to get my drink up.
Throw your drink if you're awesome.
Okay, clearly not then.
Well, you know.
There we go.
I may have to talk to King about cutting down the time on that drink animation just a little bit. Anyway.
Welcome, one and all. This is our episode 81 of Kanpai Cast, and we are covering the Spring 2023 3-episode rule. Nasuth is making me lie and saying I don't have a creative way to tell you how to subscribe this week. But hey, there is something cool, which is we finally implemented those star ratings that we mentioned. Speaking of stars, how the system works is effectively a must-watch 1-star is better than an acquired taste 4-star. However, the system is entirely subjective. So for you, the viewer, you may prefer the acquired taste 4-star over the must-watch 1-star. We've also, just putting this out there, guys, link in the description, we've started the Kanpai Cast Discord server, and the server is primarily for all your anime wants and desires, where our individual servers are more for like the games and stupidity that comes from our people.
Yeah.
So, sign up. We hope to see you there.
Yeah.
Let's get on with the show then. We've got lots to cover this time, mostly thanks to Xeno. And here we are. So just a quick thing in case you're a new viewer. We take the first 3 episodes of each series in case, the first 2 are their preview thing, see if the animation quality drops and all the other ones. And then we do our review based on whether we want to keep watching, whether we think they're good for you guys. And we then come back halfway through the season. So let's start us off. Xeno, I think it's onto you.
Okay. I am going to do a quick one, which is the Ancient Magus Bride Season 2. This is following the first season that originally aired in 2017.
Wow!
And
is it really that old?
Yep, I remember some game developer friends of mine going like, is this any good? And I was ranting and raving about it, saying how amazing it was. How I was fanaticizing about the fact that they actually got the textures on the English trains, on the seats, correct, right? They put the patterning on this. It was just like, why did you research this? And thank you. So yeah, it's brilliant. I actually recently started rewatching the first season, but I've seen the first 3 episodes of this. This is I'm just jumping straight in there. It's a must-watch, right? And I have complete faith in this. I'm giving this a 4-star must-watch. Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
So,
wow.
Honestly, the first season alone is so goddamn good, right? It realistically, needs. Yeah, it does. It warrants that high 4 stars. So,
that's awesome.
The story continues on. We have Chisei, who is our mystical, spiritual Japanese character who is basically bought into slavery from a ancient magus, hence the name. And yeah, it's freaking fantastic. I love the whole thing about it. So I don't really want to say too much more. Like, realistically, if you haven't seen this, you need to go see the first season. Go see the bloody first season. Do it.
It is
so
worth
good.
Isn't there,
it's got a good dub. Just go do it. There is a dub. Go do it. Watch the first season. Watch the first season, then watch the second season. So good.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Should we move on?
Let's move on.
So good. Right. Go on, Nasuth. What do you want?
Oh, yeah, it is my time, isn't it? Let's do Eden Zero Season 2.
Okay.
So much like...
I haven't got to this one yet.
Have you watched Season 1 yet?
Yes, I watched and enjoyed season 1. So tell me.
Okay, so much like Ancient Magus' Bride, this is a continuation of the story. I hate to feel like I'm being mean, but I'm actually gonna give this a 1-star acquired taste, and I'll tell you why.
Oh.
I'll tell you why. It is really fun. It is honestly a lot of fun, but you've seen it all before. This is not really a new concept per se. This is your essentially it's just your typical fantasy series where they've got to go. They're in search for the MacGuffin, but it's set in space. But that doesn't. It being set in space doesn't really have any impact on the story other than just giving it a neat backdrop. You know, everything that happens is still very much based in a fantasy reality.
Yeah, it allows for the fantasy reality to be there because of the other planets. You go to a planet that has these rules.
Rather than like an island or a country or... Yes. Good art, but not great art. Which, again, kind of... Yeah. Yeah.
Well, if you've been a fan of the art style of Ravemaster and Fairy Tail before it,
yes,
then
yeah.
you're gonna like these guys.
It's not any kind of art that's gonna make you like want to turn it off or anything. It's perfectly fine. It's probably above average, but it's just not amazing. Say like something like we'll get into it later, like Heavenly Delusions, where the art style is just incredible.
So would you say that Eden Zero, because when I watched the first season, I binged the whole thing because it was all out.
Yeah.
And it was
I did.
on Netflix,
That's what I did
watched
too.
it
Yeah.
in one go. So would you say that potentially this is a series that maybe just wait until it's all out and then watch the whole thing in one?
I think so. It's one of those that's it's fine to watch, but it's sort of like fluff. It's like
Very shonen
like
Jump.
angel food cake. It's nice and sweet, but it doesn't really fill you up. Doesn't really it's gonna give you a sugar rush.
Satisfied.
It's gonna give you a sugar rush, and then you're gonna crash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, wait, was that it? Was that the whole episode? Seriously? I want
Well,
more. Why have I? Yeah.
So like they introduced these 4 generals, and essentially they're just 4 elemental lords from a fantasy series that they have to defeat to get to their next goal. And it's like that'd be cool, but they don't really do much of anything with it. Like the water guy that they fight in the second episode, they just kind of outsmart him eventually in a way that you wouldn't have. Like, it doesn't make sense with how they outsmart him. If he makes you cry, then you turn into water. And so he, one by one, takes them all down. Except apparently one of them knew. As soon as it feels like the way Kirito saw the wooden sheaths on the daggers. One of them knew that him wearing high heels meant that he was going to step on their foot and make them cry. And so he tricked them using a disguise app to make himself appear like he was crying and then go invisible. Only to come back later and defeat the guy. And I'm like, no. That's fine. That's fine. It's not a smart show. It's not supposed to be a smart show. But that's part of what holds it back from being a must-watch or... Yeah.
I can agree with that, yes.
This guy, Weiss. This is the one who does it. Yeah.
Okay. Right. One thing I
All
did
right.
find, before you go on, I have a question for you. One thing I did find as I was picking through to get the screenshots for you, there seemed to be a lot of recap already, and it's only like
Episode
3
1.
episodes.
Episode 1 was a lot of recap.
No. I mean, like episode 2 seemed to have like at least 5 minutes of recap of episode 1. I'm like, but it's only the start of the season. Why are we having recaps already?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah. Still, it's very shonen in that way, where they can waste some time with recaps, and because they've got to fill the time. But yeah, it's fine if you want to. I would say wait till this. I'm going to keep watching it, but I would say wait until the season's out to go binge it. I remember the English dub of the original one not being too bad, so probably wait for the English dub even. I don't know.
Okay. Right, Thaylien, what do you want to go for next?
I'm going to start off with Mashle, Magic and Muscles. So this one is a 3-star, nothing special.
Nice.
absolute middle of the road. You know, the series is about a world where magic is just everything. You know, people do everything with magic. It's not even there is no industry without it. And we find out very quickly that this is because the aristocrats literally stamped out everybody that can't do magic. And it's really easy to tell who can't do magic because everyone with magic has a mark on their face in some kind of...
Oh, so that's what that is.
Yeah.
So that's kind of represents their power in some way. We don't know. It seems to be different on quite a lot of people.
It's a very oddly shaped scar.
Right. So the
almost a lightning bolt, you might say.
So the our protagonist Mash is a boy born without magic. He has no magic, and he's found by basically a failed person. Is a gentleman that basically has very little magic and has been put upon all his life because he can't really do the same thing that everybody else can. This poor man decides he's going to raise this magicless boy to be the best he can be, and so has a house out in the woods and tells him he can never go into town, and she keeps him busy by having him do strength training. And he does the most ridiculous kind of strength training that you've ever seen. It is the most anime shit you've ever seen. That's with, he's pumping iron that's like stacked out to weights bigger than he is, and then holding on to it while doing Russian dance steps to try and to do quick step and everything. It's ridiculous. Even like the animals in the woods are scared of him when he's pumping iron. And
I think another point is that at one point in time he's waiting for this exam to start, and he is literally sitting on nothing.
Yeah, he does the invisible chair.
Strong. Yeah, his legs are so strong he does the invisible chair.
So this man, unfortunately, he's got an obsession with cream puffs. To the point where he defies his father's warning not to go into town and goes into town to buy some limited edition ones. And I'm sensing a tie-in with some kind of merchandising there for special edition cream puffs with this brand on them. Yeah, it has to be. It's going to be one of those things. He's caught. The magic police follow him home and find him. But the guy that finds them is a bit of an arsehole, to be perfectly honest. And he wants to try and shake things up. He finds this magicless boy that when he tried to put up a shield, the boy threw his wand to break the shield.
Wow.
Literally threw his wand so hard it broke the shield and stuck in the wall. So he thinks, well, you know what? I'm ticked off at the people up top as well. I'm going to do something about it, and you're now my plan. So, apparently at the School of Magic, every graduating year, one student is chosen to be the chosen of God, and this given this grand title, and he is then made one of the authorities of the land. He's given a job in the Magic Society. And the aim in this is to get Mash to be chosen as this particular person, thus proving that you don't even need magic to be like that. It is all bullshit. So that's the plan. So they send Mash to school, and immediately he starts making idiot waves. This is okay. Mash is simple. He's a little bit stupid, as in he's like a little bit harebrained. He will forget which way a door opens and so rip it off its hinges by accident, and then not realize which way it has to go to put it back, and then break it. But he's actually not. He's just simple. He'll take a simple and direct route. He doesn't realize. He sees somebody cleaning shoes with magic and says, "Yeah, but I could do that with my hands." It's what's the point of it? So. He wants to do the lock opening magic, and so he just pulls the top off the lock. He wants to he starts getting bullied at school for his new position in his and the fact that this guy's like the son of some famous person in the society, and he doesn't even think it's being bullied. He's just like, oh, I can use this to get on the good side of somebody important. So until they start bullying his friend, and then he literally grabs him by the face and smacks him into the ground. It's like,
so wait,
yeah, okay,
wait.
fine.
This screenshot. Hang on, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but this screenshot is this
Yes.
have they been throwing stuff at him?
Yes,
Is
so
that what's
he
going on
can't
here?
fly on a broom. He can't fly on a broom, and so he doesn't take off at the start of this match that is like episode 3. So we don't see how this is turning out. And at episode, so they start throwing stuff at him because he's not taking off, he's not taking part, right? But people saw him break the world record sprint speed on a broom, but only those watching closely saw that he threw the broom and jumped to catch up with it and land at the other end of the track.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes.
This is it here.
Yeah, so he jumped and grabbed the broom in midair and hung on to it until it landed. It is dumb. And this is the thing, it's nothing special because this is just another overpowered protagonist show. And the joke is just the same joke over and over again.
Yeah.
But it hasn't lost that kind of ridiculous quality to it yet. So I'm putting it nothing special. I'm going to keep watching it. I don't think Xeno is.
Yeah, Xeno.
To me, this is... I cannot personally decide if this is a 1-star nothing special or like a 4-star pass, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to keep watching it. This is basically Harry Potter, but a parody.
But with muscles.
The only...
Mm-hmm.
No, it's a parody of Harry Potter through and through. You even have the Draco Malfoy antagonist schoolmate. Frick, the school itself looks like fucking Hogwarts.
It looks just like it. Right? They even have
Quidditch.
It
has a goddamn moat. They have Quidditch. So it just oozes Harry Potter. Like, basically, I don't know if this is them taking the piss out of Harry Potter or this is them just going, hey, let's just take Harry Potter and make it an anime.
Make it comedy.
The problem I have...
We don't want to give J.K. Rowling any money, so we'll just make our own.
Yeah.
with
punching and comedy. Yeah, let's do that.
So what Thaylien said about the whole, it's the joke's very samey. That is the only reason why I'm giving it a pass. Like, there's like, I'll just brute force everything. It's like, oh, what's this?
We've got to make a rock float. So I'm going to hold my wand and actually stick my thumb into the rock and make it look like it's floating.
Oh dear!
Here's the other one, right? He has to have his broom float up to his hand. He stamps the floor really hard. The broom goes up into his hand. He goes fly. It's just like.
And even the other character points out, you said the spell after the broom lifted.
Yeah. So it just feels very. Wow, we got a whole season of this. So.
Yep, it does feel like that. Although I'm more tolerant of that kind of humor. So.
Fantastic.
Move on to the next one.
Yes, I think we should.
Right, okay, so I'm going to try and knock out 2 at the same time.
Okay.
So first off, I have working for a god in the godless world, right? I'm going to give this an acquired taste 2. Right?
Yep.
Yeah.
No, wait, that's a 1.
That's a
Oops.
1, Nasuth.
There we go.
Right. So I'm giving this an acquired taste 2. The premise is effectively it's an isekai. The main character ends up dying and ends up going to a fantasy world, but ends up going to a fantasy world where there's no concept of religion, there's no concept of gods or anything like this. And the protagonist he gets discovered. He's actually, I'm not gonna, what?
I don't know if they're in this world either.
Oh, fair point. Right. Anyway, so no, but they are in the origin world, like that he comes from. That's the whole.
Fair enough.
So he ends up going to this other world, and he ends up coming across this village of people that are outcasts. They are social outcasts, and they have been expelled from the main city, right? However, every indiscriminate period of time, they get pulled to the city for execution, right? They are asked to die, right? And you know, it's just sort of like their civil service is to die when they're asked to, right? And our main protagonist, who is there in the middle with the black hair, he ends up going, no, you can't do this. He ends up going to stop it from happening, and he ends up dying along with them. But in doing so, his final wish is for the god that his father was the leader of a cult for, ends up coming into the world and ends up saving them all. And that's the general premise. So he ends up working with this goddess.
Sorry, that sounds like it could be a really good premise. How do they ruin that?
No. They haven't.
No, Acquired Taste isn't bad, is it? Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Yes,
Sorry.
Acquired Taste isn't bad.
I don't know what I was thinking.
It's a 2 because this could just go nowhere. It could just fall flat. It could, because at the end of the 3rd episode, like, I do feel that the pacing is a bit off, and like, you know, Nasuth is going to hear me say this a lot. Like, yeah. I feel like, I don't know why pacing has just become so important to me. But it feels
because you're a busy
like,
man with no time to waste.
Well, like, for example, at the end of the 3rd episode, they end up resurrecting these people. I'm like, where did these people come? Like, where the fuck did this tractor come from? Right? It's like, all of a sudden, tractor. And that's what I feel like. So I think they are making leaps and bounds in terms of like, oh yeah, well, this has happened because the god has given them a tractor and things like that. But it's not outwardly shown or explained. It just happens by surprise. And anyway, so I'm still watching this, at least till episode 6. I think it has potential of being a much higher Acquired Taste.
Yeah, you'll have to let me know, because maybe even before episode 6, because I'm vaguely interested in this now.
Yeah. And then the other one I'm going to knock out of the park is The Legendary Hero is Dead. This is a pass 2-star. It is goddamn awful. Right, so the whole premise of this is it's an entirely fantasy setting. It screams to me Shonen Jump. It really does, right? But the our main character is just this village idiot, right? He has an obsession with thighs to the point of he's just constantly putting stockings on thighs. And his childhood friend who comes over, like, you know, she's not wearing stockings, and then all of a sudden she's found out that he's putting stockings on her, right? Yeah, he's a bit of a creep, a bit of a lech. Anyway, so the a monster turns up in their village, and he's prepared a pitfall trap. And baiting the monster with a barbecue, right? You know, so he's got a barbecue and like bait. But the monster doesn't go for it. Instead, the legendary hero ends up turning up and kills the monster like that, right? Except for the legendary hero is a moron and ends up walking straight into the pitfall trap and kills himself.
Oh, God.
Right?
Oh.
Right.
Oh,
Next, we have this Necromancer. Okay, Necromancer, it scores points for me, right? The Necromancer has been tasked by the legendary hero, if he were to die, to have the soul of his killer put in his body to continue his task. Right?
What?
Yes.
But wouldn't
right? No, the soul of the killer gets put in his body.
Right, but wouldn't the soul of his killer want to just use his body to go on killing?
Well,
am I crazy?
In principle, yes. However, the village idiot was the one that actually
killed himself. Yes, so his own soul goes back into his body.
No. The village idiot was the one that killed the stupid legendary hero.
Oh.
Right? Now, but the body is decomposing, right? The body's rotting. And it's like, well, how do I maintain the body? You maintain the body by using your mana. Well, it turns out the village idiot only has a mana level of 1, right? Whereas everyone else has a mana level in the hundreds. Alright? So, so he can't maintain the body, and that's why you'll see screenshots of, like, his arm is just, a skeleton arm, or his face is just completely decomposed. It's just a skeletal face, even though he's doing stupid, creepy smiles. Anyway, that's the whole plot. That is the whole plot of the whole series. It is just, I could not finish the 3rd episode. I fell asleep 3 times. Right? I was so bored. He can't use his legendary sword. You know how Link has the Master Sword? He has an equivalent sword, right? But you're supposed to pour your mana into the sword, and his mana is so weak, the sword goes floppy. Right?
God. How is a little mana worse than no mana?
Yeah, that's the thing, right? The sword is rigid with 0 mana and is floppy with little mana. It's like, what on earth, right? So, yeah, rigid sword. Anyway, honestly, I am dropping this. This is gone for me, right? Animation's good. Voice acting talent's good, right? Plot's bearable, right? But the character progression's got nothing. The jokes are always the same. It's ass.
See, I once hired a necromancer, and all he did was raise the dead instead of, trying to romance my neck.
Moving on.
Man, I used to have a bunch of necromancer jokes. I've forgotten them all, though.
Good. Right. So,
well, maybe we should resurrect them at some point.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna save that one for last. I think. Let's get Mahou Shoujo magical destroyers out of the way, shall we?
Go on then.
I think Xeno and I actually have very similar opinions on this one. And for me, I think he rates it a little bit lower, but for me, it's a pass, and it is only 3 stars. So it's barely even anything to write home about. Has a very similar plot to Rumble Garandol, where like there's this invading force that wants to stop otakus from being otakus, and there's a underground resistance made up of otakus. But this one has instead of robots and idols that transform the robot into different forms, they've got magical girls. And it's, what is it, Anarchy Blue and Pink, which is weird. It's not Red, Blue, and Pink, it's Anarchy Blue and Pink. And they've got like they're led by the otaku hero, and the weird thing is that they give him a crisis of faith right in the 1st episode, which could be interesting, but they don't do anything with it. It's just like, oh, he has a crisis of faith. Oh, he's over it now. And then in the second episode, one of the other magical girls that they go to rescue, Pink, she's like, is it 2nd episode? It is 2nd episode, right?
It is.
Yeah. She's also like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to do my own drug-fueled thing. And he's like, I had a crisis of faith recently too. And you'd think he could elaborate on that and maybe what made him come back to decide to fight again and some reasons to convince her. But no, that's about it. And then they just go into her brain using drugs and fight. Yeah, that's it. Nothing makes sense. The powers can be just kind of whatever they want to be. Blimps appear out of nowhere. Not even kidding. At first, yeah, in the very first episode, she's like, "How did you get up here so fast?" And he's like, "Because of that." And he points out a blimp, and then they take the blimp to go do the rescue mission. And it's like, but where did the blimp come from? Why? I thought that it might be all right because I've watched sort of zany comedy stuff before, like Furikuri and Excel Saga, but even in those, they're at least internally consistent. It doesn't feel like this show has any internal consistency at all.
It feels.
Yeah, go ahead.
It feels that with the plot, it's really heavily dependent on the events that are happening, not only to our motley crew, but the world at large, and yet does nothing to explain where our antagonists have come from, what the state of affairs are. It doesn't explain anything. It's just like all of a sudden otaku culture is just outlawed, and like okay,
yeah,
what, why? Okay.
The animation started out kind of okay, but you could already tell they were cutting corners, like this guy right here. All of the soldiers have these masks on, so they don't have to animate their mouths or anything, or give them unique faces, or it got progressively worse. It really did. It really got... I didn't watch the third episode. I didn't make it there. But Zeno said it was really bad in that, and it was already getting bad in the second episode. It's like you can tell they want to focus some of the animation budget in certain places, but even there, like even inside Pink's head, there were a lot of cut corners, a lot of really jumpy, jerky frames and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, I just can't. I think the really, really interesting thing was that it was set. It's set in the past. It's set in like 2011.
Is it?
Yeah. It starts in 2009. That's when the initial invasion happens, but we're now at like 2011, and that's kind of interesting, but not interesting enough.
Yeah,
not interesting enough. I'm giving up on it. I'm out. I'm out.
Yeah. Right. You're gonna hand it over to Thaylien then.
Yeah, Thaylien.
Alrighty. I'm going to go with my next particular one, which is my one-hit kill sister. And this is... it's nothing special. And I'm going to give it a 2-star. So this is falling into that strange and worryingly growing genre of MILFsekai. Okay? Where the protagonist is weak, and the supporting female protagonist is strong, but is, despite being definitely a waifu character, is related to him. So in this case, it's his actual sister. I don't. Okay, so I'm actually kind of impressed with this because there is a rare scale, okay, that Xeno knows, of red-haired waifus. Yes, there's a the red-haired waifus, as you can see here. Okay, she is a midpoint in terms of like between like athletic and not and long hair and not and all this, between Yoko Littner on one end and Rias Gremery on the other. Well, powerful magic.
That's a pretty powerful scale right there.
That is a very powerful scale.
So she hits like the middle of the road on that. She's athletic, she's strong, she's tall, she's red-haired, she's got long, messy red hair, and she's off the charts powerful in terms of both magic and physical prowess. Our main character here, Asahi, is hit by a truck, classic kind of isekai thing, and it turns out he's in a coma. And this will explain the entire thing to you guys, okay? He's in a coma, in another world, and he's talking in his sleep about his adventure. What does his sister do? She hits her head on the wall until she joins him.
No!
Yes, that's the explanation for why she's there. She hits her head on the wall until she joins him. Yes, she is obsessed with her brother to that point.
Oh, God.
So he thinks that he's going to start off with a nice little adventure thing. He starts at level 1. He opens his stats screen, and it's, everything's on his little hexagonal spreadsheet is at level 1. And so he begins and, sells off his smartphone as a nice little device and buys adventure gear, joins the adventure guild and starts off on a little quest to find some, I think he's a goblin or something that he starts off with. But he seems to be talented at attracting trouble because he runs into a wyvern. And just when the wyvern's about to actually kill him, his sister shows up and blasts it with magic. Just turns it to dust.
Is that here?
Yep.
Nice.
And she kills giant orcs, she kills giant bears, she kills everything. She'll kill anything for him. And unfortunately, the Adventurers Guild thinks that Asahi's the one doing it. And there's even a little thing there to say, yeah, don't falsify your rank because that's illegal, you know. And there's a couple of little funny scenes where they actually like throw it in to show how he's having to fake it, you know, like with another adventurer, and his sister has to like pretend in the background to strike the ground, and it looks like he did it as a thing, develop a crater in the ground. This is her saying she could make him stronger by holding down a monster and getting him to hit it so that he deals the most damage. Because he's level 1. When she opens her stat screen, the colour of the screen is the colour of the stats. So she's literally off the screen, maxed out her stats kind of thing. It's that kind of stupid. And the joke is always that, you know, she's that strong, she's Saitama, and he's the guy that she's obsessed with. And by episode 3 they introduce another character similar. So it's another supporting cast, possibly part of the harem.
Fucking 2 of them.
So yes, so they introduce Kilmaria, one of the 6 generals of the Demon King's army, and she's introduced as this person.
Well, of
that's
course,
like,
he's got to have a harem.
I've got everything's so boring. Everything dies in one attack, and she's seen taking out some dragon rank adventurers with 1 attack each, and that actually becomes a plot point later with
Is Dragon the top?
No.
Okay.
So there's like, so they put him up to like the 3rd from the top rank, which is Ogre, right underneath Dragon. Right. And then there's another rank above that. But he's she arrives and, you know, noticing that he's weak, she saves him from a bear, blows up the bear, and sends him tumbling into her arms. And he goes, this power, this pair of titties I'm nestled in, this must be my sister. And being called Nei-san by this boy amuses Kilmaria. And she's like, oh, okay, I like that. Call me that again, boy.
Oh, dear.
And so, yes. And then after that, Maya, his sister, turns up and challenges her to a fight over her brother and beats her. But they are like insane, flying across the screen, Dragon Ball Z on its best day kind of special effects.
Right. This sounds right up Xeno's alley.
So Maya wins, and then Kilmaria becomes a recurring thing of coming back to challenge Maya to get stronger. So, and at the point we are now, it's silly, it's funny. I mean, he reaches level 10 by contributing a little bit to the fights. And his first skill he learns, which at level 10 is apparently like tutorial level kind of leveling. And his first skill he learns is the escape skill. And the escape skill is a short range teleport that means he can escape her tackle hugs. Yeah.
The more I see her bangs, the less silly. I like them too. I don't know what it is. It's that one that goes right down the center and under her eye. It's just hidden behind.
Hidden behind Xeno is Kilmaria at the moment. She is a demon. She has horns.
Oh, and you just see the horns poking out. Yeah.
Yeah. So that is the general. That's the King of Bears, who killing all the bears that were after Asahi draws him out, and of course Kilmaria blows him up as well. So it's like even the King of Bears couldn't do anything. Oh. You know, that kind of effect. So it's a silly show. I'm going to keep watching it, see where it goes. But it isn't. It's definitely earning a nothing special ranking for all of that.
Oof. Right.
Xeno's like, I need to pick that up immediately.
No, Xeno's not. Right, I'm gonna do 2 again. One I'm gonna blitz, and the other one I'm gonna give more time on. So the first one I'm gonna blitz is Demon Slayer.
Excellent.
There's not really a great deal I want to say on this. It is. I'm gonna give this a 3-star must-watch. It is Demon Slayer. It is fantastic. It is popular as all hell. I was kind of let down by at least the start of season 2. This has pulled no punches. This is just high octane.
Yeah. But wasn't that because season 2 literally repeated the movie.
Yeah, so like again, that's part of what I was saying. But this is like just high octane Demon Slayer through and through. It is going quite fast, but it is not going too fast. I'm not left wondering what the fuck's going on at any point in time. I'm really pleased with this. I think that if you haven't picked up Demon Slayer, now's as good a time as any to actually pick it up. So it's exceptionally well animated, especially considering the last season was, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before. They've managed to knock this out so well, so quickly. I'm really impressed with the whole thing. I don't want to spend any more time talking about it, so I'm going to move straight on to the next one, which is Dead Mount Deathplay. Is a series that I keep forgetting how to pronounce. This, I'm giving a 4-star acquired taste. Right?
Okay.
Right, so this is quite high on the thing for me. It does still have the potential of just dropping off and being trash. But first off, it's a reverse isekai. Right? So that's our right? So it's a reverse isekai, and it's originally set in a fantasy world where we're at the the ultimate fight between hero and ultravillain, right, so to speak. The ultravillain is a necromancer who has gone full lich, right, and has it's not gone well for him, and as a result, the hero's gone all the way up to him, and just before the hero kills the necromancer, you have this blinding light, right? The lich. Before you have the hero kills the lich, a blinding light, and all of a sudden, there's this kid who wakes up in an alleyway with his throat slit, right? Can't really talk or anything. And because the screenshots are just going to give it away in a heartbeat, like they have now, it's not the hero that's been reverse isekai'd, it's the lich that's been reverse isekai'd. And he is now inhabiting this kid's body, right? So the main thing is that the kid was assassinated by some hitman or hitwoman, and as he's trying to find his way, not knowing much at all, barely recalls Japanese, he ends up getting dragged away by his would-be assassin, and the assassin tries to kill him again. However, the assassin sort of corners him in a derelict building, and derelict building is full of ghosts, and this basically allows him to tap into the magical energies and so on and so forth, and he's able to summon forth his necromantic powers, and ends up impaling his would-be assassin with a giant skeletal hand. And the necromancer's just like, wait a second, is she dead? Like, because the hero would just sort of kind of like shrug this off, but everyone is so much more fragile in our world, right? There is no sense of magic, there is no sense of like resurrection or anything like this, and the lich realizes that this could be his golden opportunity to have the peaceful life he wanted in his original world. You see here that this is a flashback memory of the liches, where he was actually helping these orphans grow a farm and actually look after themselves and things like this.
But of course, he's evil, so yeah.
Yes. The church attacked the orphans, killed all the orphans, and then the lich was like, or the necromancer, and ends up going full demon lord, taking over the world sort of thing. And yeah, you get the idea. So
if the world is that corrupt, really I will remake it.
Yeah, basically. So, but he ends up coming to our world. He doesn't understand the technology at all, but he's happy the fact that there's no religious zealots and things like that. So, but there do appear to be other individuals with otherworldly powers, right? So it's like it's only hinting that at the end of the 3rd episode, right? So
there's a reason for him retaining his powers, as it were.
Yeah, it stands to reason if he came from another world and retained his powers, other people might have.
Exactly, right. Either that, or he also recognizes that in order for him to use his powers, there has to be some form of link between the worlds. Right? So it may not just be like his world. There could be other worlds that have links in them.
Yeah.
So I really don't know. I'm rating this highly. The animation's excellent. The characters are really well done. I'm really enjoying this one. To the point of, before we recorded this, I made sure I watched the 3rd episode.
I have one other question. When you say it gives him the opportunity to perhaps live the kind of peaceful life he wants, does it sort of start slipping towards slice of life, or is there like a greater mystery that he has to?
No, because like he feels like, yes, I can live this peaceful life, and then the would-be assassin's the one on the left getting headlines.
Okay. I thought it was gonna be the one on the right.
No. So he ends up, as I said, killing her. He then resurrects her as a zombie.
Right, of course.
He repairs her body, but then expects like a cleric to come and actually resurrect her. But there are no clerics, so he has to do it himself, and he can only resurrect her as an undead, right? He even says, like, he jokes saying, like, you know, if I get enough magic, I could actually evolve you into a vampire and things like this. But she is like a world-class assassin, and a Yakuza basically turns up and says, hey, I need you to protect me because my old gang are out to kill me, sort of thing. And he appears to be talking to the Yakuza, and is like, yeah, okay, I'll accept your contract and things like this. And it turns out that it was a trap. It was actually a revenge kill on the assassin, right, on the girl. But it wasn't his contract that the necromancer was agreeing to. It was the ghosts of the kids that were haunting the Yakuza that he actually accepted the contract to. And he ends up sort of like horribly mangling them and things like that.
Oh my, okay, I'm definitely interested in this now.
So this has hell of a lot of potential
crap
to become a must-watch, right? And
this is proper anti-hero stuff. I like it.
Yeah, this is like anything necromancers, and I'm like, I'm basically like Nasuth with feudal Japan. Like, you know, I'm like, you've got my attention.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
You could say his body is ready.
Anyway, right. Should we move on to
yes? Let's do KONOSUBA. Let's get KONOSUBA out of the way. Technically not KONOSUBA, God's Blessing on This Wonderful World. It is the spin-off, An Explosion on This Wonderful World. And okay, let me preface this. Before I give this rating, let me preface this by saying I love the original KONOSUBA. It's I think we've rewatched it together once.
God, that's how many times.
But we've watched it at least
twice.
Yeah, we've watched it at least twice all the way through, but I meant rewatched it once. I don't remember if we've watched it a third time together, but probably.
No, I could have sworn you watched it before we watched it together.
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
Okay. Oh, yeah, well, we've at least watched it together twice.
Yeah, because we exposed Zakamus to it as well, and yeah.
I thought you'd already watched it before that.
No. Anyway, I love KONOSUBA. KONOSUBA is definitely a must-watch 4-star, but maybe 5-star. But this one, I'm actually gonna have to give it an acquired taste, and it's only getting 2 stars from me in that. And I'll tell you why. It has a lot of that same KONOSUBA energy, but the fact that we know Megumin can't have had too many actual adventures before meeting up with Kazuma already puts a bit of a damper on it for me. That said, the humor of the Crimson Demons, fucking hilarious.
Is
they are so
absolutely on point.
that also helps mitigate some of the slice of life stuff that they're showing, which I know there was a little bit of that in the original Konosuba as well. But maybe it's the school aspect of it that makes it feel a little less interesting to me. I'm not sure. But I have to trust in the power of the author, because clearly they've done a great job with the original. I can believe it's already funny. I mean, I'm not going to give up on it by any means. I'm going to keep watching it. I just don't know if it will be as good as the original, as a season 3 of Konosuba. Trying to think of any other really important things to point out.
Oh, God, you gotta love the absolute straight-faced lines they pull on some of these things.
Oh yeah,
right? Like, I think after we see Megumin's fascination with explosion magic come from that one particular mage that she meets, and Xeno memed about it last week with that particular camera angle. Yes, and the so it's the way that Megumin walks up to one of her classmates who's already a bit more developed and says, "From my sampling, you look like you're going to grow up to be a powerful mage."
Yes.
No other context. It's just you just have to draw that conclusion.
I didn't get that until now. Oh my god!
And
well, they like destroy the town and then they just rebuild it overnight, and it's like nobody even really thinks about it.
Yeah, again, because this obviously happens a lot. And when they're casting their magic and they're looking back over their shoulders at the kids to check they're watching.
Sure, yeah.
Yes, but the other one was when you could see the relationship between her and Union starting to come into what it becomes eventually, and so you could see what she's. Well, okay. If you drop the rival thing, I guess we could. And somebody asked Union to be friends.
Be friends with her instead,
yes, and
but
her classmate walks up and says,
chooses...
"So this." No, but it's the thing of her classmate walking up. So this is NTR. It's like, this is not NTR.
Yeah. There's the shut-in neat, like they're showing right here. He's obsessed with the most beautiful woman in the Crimson girl in the Crimson Demons, and so they have to like help him try to get in a position where he can save her, but instead he uses that opportunity to try and peep up her skirt.
Oh god!
And he still ends up going.
So just to point out, they don't have to help him. They choose to because he won't fucking leave them alone.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they even bury him in books to try and stop him, and he's just like that's her in the background there.
Again, the absolute straight-faced way they deliver that one is that, let's just bury it in books, and then they just keep piling on more and more and more, and they just keep throwing books at him and forming chains
like,
to throw
guys,
books
it's getting
at him.
hard to breathe here. Can we stop now?
They have one punch bears. I mean, what?
Yeah.
It's very Konosuba, but again, it's zany. But the zaniness is internally consistent. You see how that works?
I think.
You see how that works?
I think the problem with what's it called, Explosion on This Wonderful World is the lack of internal deconstruction of what's going on from Kazuma, right?
Yeah.
That element of the humor is such a pillar of Konosuba, and it's very difficult to gauge that level of oh dear God, is this happening?
It was very much an ensemble cast.
I would say this one is. It's hard to be straight man, funny man.
Yeah,
the way Kazuma does
man.
When they're all stark raving insane.
Yeah, like I'm kind of hoping that the series will basically their entire school life. The teacher doesn't teach them shit, right? In fact, like he skips out on all the lessons. And they get to the graduation. It's like, congratulations, you graduated, but you didn't teach us anything. I just hope it's them going on like mini adventures.
I keep hoping they bring this woman back.
Exactly.
And let her kind of be the straight
That's
man.
the only way I can think this series would work.
You know, because
Alrighty.
Hold
for that.
on.
Oh,
Has he
hold on.
Has he done
What?
the dumb thing?
What?
As if you've muted yourself on Discord, we can't hear
What? How?
Oh.
How?
you. I don't fucking know, man.
How?
I don't fucking know how you did that.
That's
I don't
insane.
know how you did that. I saw your bar moving and I saw
Yeah.
your lips moving. I'm like, anyway. What did you say?
I was saying that I hope they bring this one back and let her be the straight man, because that would give us that sort of Kazuma angle, because that's how she kind of existed or acted in the first episode, right? Where Megaman was saying these ridiculous things and she was like, wait, what? Wait, what?
This child is obviously too much trouble.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Should we move on?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going to move on to the second of my 4 isekais. Summoned to another world for the second time.
That one.
Yep.
That one.
And this one, again, we're going to go for a nothing special, but I'm actually going to give it a 4-star for one simple reason. And it's the fact that it hasn't fucking slowed down once.
Really?
Okay, so the premise is that this man was summoned to another world and he did everything. He united the kingdoms, he made peace, he brought the demons to peace with the humans, and he tamed the wild beasts of the ocean, and he did everything that a hero should. But at the end of it all, a friend who became an enemy got into a fight with him, and it looks like killed him, and at the same time as being killed. And so he was reincarnated back into his own world again, under a different name, and grew up for 14 years or so, going back to school and everything, until one day the summoning circle that summoned him the first time appeared again in his classroom and summoned him and his entire class back to this other world.
So wait, he's
5
lived
years after he
4
disappeared.
lives?
He looks like it, yes. This is his third, because he's actually been summoned in this one.
No, it's technically his second.
Oh yeah, that's a good point.
He gets summoned. He doesn't get reincarnated.
So he's reincarnated back to his own world after being summoned. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
And we see immediately that it's his second time, in a sense, because when this gigantic creature attacks him, he basically repels it with a finger flick. But he manages to hide that from his classmates. He's not quite sure how he wants to play this yet. But then, once they go back to the kingdom, they find that it's 5 years later, that everything seems to be kicking off again. There seems to be a war brewing. And he now knows where his footing is. He identifies himself to his old friends, right? Though he finds his old friends,
even though he looks different,
recognize him in this new body,
right?
And he then decides to let's go through this as fast as possible. Ditch all his friends and his classmates in order to go off to find the Demon Queen to find out what's setting off this war. In the process, he finds a small girl on the road that is trying to deliver a brooch that he recognizes from his last time that he gave to the Demon Queen as a protection brooch, which for some reason this poor girl's grandfather had to repair, and is now on her way back to deliver it. So when they go to the port, there's no ships, so he summons his old friend the Leviathan of the deep, the queen of the oceans, to ferry them across. Immediately, she's in the next episode where they arrive on the demon continent. She kills a kraken, which was apparently terrorizing a village, and so they eat the kraken as squid rings and celebrate. But because the celebration lasts into the night, one of the bodyguards of the Demon Queen arrives and thinks the village is on fire, and so charges down, but only to find everything's fine, is reintroduced to Setsu, the hero, and Olivia, the Leviathan, and tells them that the Demon Queen is in trouble, is actually on the border of being enslaved by some rich merchant type in order to maintain peace. And so they set off running to try and save this woman, abandoning the girl that he was helping before. So there seems to be there seems to be no slowing down,
but also kind of no
and they
direction.
keep jumping.
Yeah.
There seems to be just like they've got this goal that he's going for, and he kind of dips into plot lines as he wants. So he's incredibly powerful, so is Levia. There are other people that will be incredibly powerful, I'm sure of it, that he meets. And it seems like because he was this hero in the past, half the people are in some way obsessed with him. But we don't get any context, really. We just get this thing of, oh, in my previous life here, this happened. And the pace is so madcap, and the plot so disconnected so far that I just want to see where it's going. It's not being a particularly great show, but it has me kind of like
you're wondering, are these disparate plot threads going to be pulled together at some point?
Yes.
Or is it just
is
crazy?
This actually a train wreck I'm watching, or a trick where the train leaps over another train? I mean, I have to figure this out. So, I think, was this one that Xeno watched and is dropping?
Maybe. Can't remember.
Either way. So, yeah, it's see, that's him in his previous life up there. Right?
This one?
Dealing with
the one on the left?
yes, that's the legendary hero Setsu. And then, final battle, he died, reincarnated as, I think it's Hiku or something like that.
There's also been a spate this season of heroes like that die and then come back.
Yeah.
So this one isn't on my drop yet. I'm not dropping it yet.
I mean, look at this. Okay, so this is the first person that figures out who he is, and she figures out who he is because he slaps her ass in the right way.
Oh God.
Yeah,
because she's a bit of a masochist.
Well, I mean, it's more than that. Like, basically, he's sassing her, and she's like, "I'll teach you," and then he dodges it perfectly, and then slaps her on the ass, and then she, doesn't he say like, "I'm your teacher," and then like she doesn't believe it.
Yes, I taught you that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's weird, and so there's all this thing going on. It hasn't slowed down. I want to see where it's going for now.
Yeah.
But it's still not quite a good show. Yeah. We will have to figure out if it becomes one.
Yeah,
fair enough.
It kind of feels relatively generic isekai. I mean, the thing that's holding it back for me is the fact that he's just completely ditched his entire class.
Yep.
It's just like, the fuck? Anyway.
In episode 3, he ditches the girl that he's helping out as well. It's like, okay. The fuck, you're just gone.
She does have at least someone with her to, like, protect her, so to speak. So,
yeah, but in the other case, his class has all his old friends to teach them.
Anyway, right. Should we
moving on? Yeah, let's move on.
Right. So the next one I'm gonna do is I got a cheat skill in another world and became unrivaled in the real world too. Could the name get any longer?
Yes, it actually could. Unfortunately.
Right, okay. So I can easily say that this is an acquired taste, but I can't easily give this a star.
Fair enough.
In fact, maybe going through this, we can sort of like try and work out where my feelings are, and then I can give it a star. The premise is effectively you have this Captain America sort of situation where you've got this kid who is unattractive, who is into geek culture. He's a massive otaku. Is horrendously bullied. He's a victim of domestic abuse. Basically, he ends up living with his grandfather, and his own siblings and parents treat him like trash because he is, let's face it, quite homely looking, right? And he ends up living on his own at his grandfather's house after his grandfather passes away. His siblings give him so much abuse and things. His siblings end up convincing others to sort of like bully him and stuff. And ultimately, the show starts with him standing up for a girl who's getting harassed by just some thugs, right? You know, they're like, oh, come on, come back to my place. I'll show you a good time, you know, that sort of thing. And he ends up standing up for her and gets beaten up, right? The police turn up and they run off, sort of thing. And he sort of like just gets up and shrugs it off, kind of thing. He goes back to his home and he's so miserable. He punches the bathroom mirror and punches the wall next to the mirror, and it reveals a secret door. Inside, there is a secret room in his grandfather's home with loads of odd knickknacks, like, you know, kind of fantasy-esque knickknacks. And one such knickknack is this huge-ass door, right? He opens up the door and it goes to another world, and to the point of he walks through it, there's like all these dialogue prompts that appear like a video game kind of thing. And he has access to an inventory, and he reads this note that's on the table in his house, and it says whoever finds this is now the owner of this house. Blah blah. This is him before he goes through the world to the other world. And it turns out he can go back and forth through the door, right? But only through the door. He can't just like, I'm going to go back to my world just by thinking it. So he ends up fighting a monster, as they do. And it's a very high-level monster. He ends up killing it with an ultimate weapon that was at the house, as you do. And he ends up leveling up massively, right? The cool thing is, when he goes back through the door, first off, all the random gubbins that he looted from the corpse, that is just junk, ends up getting turned into cash, right? Into Japanese yen, right? So he can't take the crap with him, but it automatically gets turned into viable funds. But when he went back home, his body literally reconfigured to look like this. Right, so his body's contorting. He ends up growing like an extra 2 foot sort of thing. He's really tall now. He's very handsome. Like he turns heads. Right.
So in this level up, it's like he's leveled up as a regular person as well.
Exactly. Right. But it only happens when he goes back through the door. So it's basically our world is sort of like, well, we need to adjust. You know, so that's how it's happening.
That previous image where it showed like close up of him and the two girls in the background totally makes me think of that one meme where the guy is looking over at the girl.
Yes, yeah. Very, very simple. It happens constantly. So now it turns out that this is the whole school basically realizing who he is, or that one image a moment ago, realizing he says, oh yeah, I'm that fat dumpy kid, because they've been on summer break, right? And you know, it's been like 5 weeks, and you know, he comes back and he's like looking all handsome, and you know, like there's no way on earth that's you, sort of thing. Anyway, so they start again treating him like crap, and the girl that he rescued at the start of the show ends up turning up and going like, yes, I'm here to take you to a good school that's not full of assholes. And they show him a good time and everything, and he's earned this opportunity, not because of what he's become, but because of who he was prior, right? The whole Steve Rogers before he became Captain America, right? So again, I really like that aspect of it. In this instance, he's basically pulled in to do a modeling job for some photographer. I don't know what you call it, but yeah, so basically this photographer. But unfortunately, the model that he is replacing just is a dick and doesn't decide to turn up, right? so he ends up doing fitting the role and things. And this is where it feels to me that there are too many good opportunities just landing on the plate for the character now because he is good looking, right? He does take the opportunities seriously, but we also see him going back to the other world, and we see horrible scenes. It is horrible. It is just like the animation throughout the entire series is chef's kiss gorgeous. It is incredible, right? But then we have this god-awful CG in the first episode, and we're like, what am I looking at? It is awful, right? Like,
is
why
that the terrible beast?
Huh?
Is that weird one with the beast galloping across the field?
No,
then turning to face the camera.
I've already done that one. That's the so working for God in the Godless world. That's that.
Oh, that's that one.
No,
okay.
This is just like, I mean, this is not that bad. Don't get me wrong, but it's just like I don't understand why they had to do this at all. Anyway, so it's because the armor's like too intricate and things like that. They could have cut that back. They could have styled that back.
Yeah.
Right? They could have put a fucking helmet on him, right? That would have helped massively, right? Anyway, so it is a very good series. I'm enjoying it. It has a lot of potential to go south, right? But it also, like, it has the potential of keeping on track and being a good series. So, kind of feeling a 3-star. So, Acquired Taste 3-star. That's what I'm feeling.
Okay. All right. You may actually put it up there.
Yeah, you might as well. I mean,
might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Stars.
So
3 stars.
But yeah, so I'm enjoying it, and I would recommend this one. I'm at least giving this another 3 episodes, right? At least. So
that's actually how I kind of feel about my next one, which is Hell's Paradise. So Xena and I disagree on this a little bit, but I'm giving it an Acquired Taste 3-star because it has
Something's wrong.
What?
Hold on. We need to pause real quick.
Oh no. Right. Did I already give it the rating? No. Did I?
Let's do it again, regardless.
Let's do it again, regardless. It is a Acquired Taste 3-star, and I think it has the potential to go either way. Honestly, there are definitely some pacing issues. Episode 2 is almost entirely pointless. I mean, there are some things that are in there, like you get to learn more about the her history. I can't remember her name. Oh, I've got it written down here somewhere. Her Sagiri. So Sagiri, you get to learn more about her past with her clan, which are a bunch of Ronin called the Aisaimon, who are essentially just executioners. That's their whole role in this particular society. But other than that, there's really not. They reiterate, "Oh, you're all criminals who are condemned to death, and you're all going to this island to find the elixir of life." Okay, yeah, we learned about that in episode 1 already, when Gabi was told that he was Gabu. It's Gabi Maru, but I call him Gabu. Was told he was going to be joining them to go to this island to find the elixir of life. Okay. Aside from that, I mean, there's some cool action in that episode, but aside from that, they really could have moved those elements to other points. I mean, we get to, in episode 3, we already get to see again how dangerous some of these criminals are, how dangerous Gabu is, a little bit more of Sagiri's history and how her... we could have put Sagiri's history in that episode as well. Which would have made it a better counterpoint to Gabu's history, which we see a little bit more of in that one, in as much as like how his father still like haunts him, like literally kind of like puts his hands around in ghostly form, like puts his hands on him and stuff. But that's one thing that the show does have in its favor, is it's got an absolutely gorgeous art style. Like the symbolism of these two characters being almost physically assaulted by their guilt over killing is really beautiful and really well done. Unfortunately, another bad point is Remember how I said in episode 2, they show how dangerous some of these criminals are, including Gabu, and then in episode 3, they do it again. People keep underestimating how strong he is, and then they learn a lesson, and then they underestimate how strong he is again. It's like, do you have some short-term memory problems? Maybe you shouldn't be out here doing this. But his personality and like really weird dry wit also keeps me pretty entertained. I love when they finally get to the island and this stuff actually starts happening. This is what's got me hooked for at least 3 more episodes. Is they're finally here. They're finally on this place where there are these, really just bizarre animals, and we learn that like if they sting you, you will turn into flowers or into one of them, or it's now that they're here, now that the weird stuff can finally start happening, and it looks like Sagiri and Gabu are finally on the same page. Maybe it'll get really good, but it could also tank if they keep having pacing issues like they had with episode 2. That's going to be a problem. That's going to be a big problem. But yeah. Oh, I should probably say who Gabu is. Gabu is a shinobi from a village of shinobi where the leader is literally immortal because he had this elixir of life, which is why they know it exists. He himself is really, really, really tough and almost impossible to kill unless he wants to be killed. Like they burn him in oil. They try to cut his head off. They do so many things to him to try and kill him, and he just kind of walks out and says, "All right, try again tomorrow." Until he goes on this quest, and his whole motivation is that he wants to see his wife again because he's been told that he's hollow, but he's not really hollow. He does have love and feelings and things like that. So yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Zeno.
So I pretty much echo a lot of what Nad's is saying. The pacing for me is like the most egregious thing. I feel like the second episode should be like 5 minutes tops, but then it's just like there's a whole episode of it. The events of the third episode, again, the pacing is just wildly disproportionate. There's like one fight that's kind of over in a heartbeat, and then there's one fight that lasts 10 minutes, and like,
but see, the second fight is so much more like there's more happening there than just the fight. But I get it, but the whole point is, like, for 3 of those 10 minutes, like, he is literally stood over the other person, like, am I going to kill this person, right? And it's just like, for fuck's sake, could you just make a decision already? Are you gonna do it or not? Right? You killed the other guy 2 seconds ago with no problem. Like, why is this a problem now? This like, I love the setting, I love the world, right? But the pacing of the narrative is just so all over the place. We have characters that are so well designed and intricate. It's and then they just die. It's so weird.
Yeah. They clearly have main character design. Like, oh, you got a main character hairstyle, right? Oh, we didn't actually get a name for you and you're dead. Fucking wow. Okay. It's like, I don't understand the pacing of the show. If Nasuth comes to me at the end of the series, yes, it is a must-watch. I'll watch
try.
It, right?
Yeah.
But as it stands on a week-by-week basis, it's fucking me off something chronic, and I can't take it.
That's fair. So this is one of the ones I'm dropping. I still disagree with you a little bit on episode 3, but I can't deny episode 2 is just wasted opportunity.
Right. You move on?
The only good thing about it is that the character even says, like, going to Ito is a waste of time. Sure. And then they go to Ito, and it's a waste of time.
Right.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
Go on, Thaylien.
Alrighty, to the third of my 4 isekais, the Aristocrat's Otherworldly Adventure. And I'm going to give this a 1-star acquired taste.
Okay.
Because it stands out a little from the crowd. in that this is actually like a slightly more light-hearted comedy version of Mushoku Tensei.
Ooh.
Yeah, so, okay. Story kicks off with a young man who he sees a guy with a knife attacking a group of people outside of a convenience store. And he sees two girls that can't run away, so he steps in to try and save them, tackles the guy, and gets stabbed for it. He dies, and he seems happy that he manages to save the girls. Right? He did something good. He reincarnates at 3 years old.
Did his normal body look like a shut-in neat sort of person?
No, he looks like a fairly normal teenager.
Okay.
Yeah. Apparently, he had no real family. His grandfather died recently, and that was the last of his living relatives.
Gotcha.
So he didn't really have anything to leave behind.
Gotcha.
But he is aware of isekai and things like that.
Yeah.
So he kind of it's like, oh, okay. So he wakes up at 3 years old in this body, the one you see on the thing there. He is the son of a noble, and he regains his memories after being very, very sick as a child because he wasn't supposed to get his memories back. It turns out that he died unexpectedly. If he hadn't stepped in, the mugger would have tripped and been restrained by all the other bystanders. So these are the girls. These are the girls that they were running away. They fell over and couldn't get away. So it was an accidental death, and the god of our world asked the gods of this other world to reincarnate him and treat him well. And so he wasn't actually supposed to regain his memories. He was just supposed to live a nice life as a noble's son. He's the third son of a noble, the son of this noble's second wife. So he has two older brothers who can inherit the estate. So he's got no pressing thing, and he's got an older sister who is a little bit obsessed with him, just like the other show we talked about earlier. And at 3 years old, waking up with memories of his previous life, he starts to actually genuinely appreciate it, where he is. It's a Mushoku Tensei thing in the sense that he's really excited to be here. He really wants to see what this is going to do. He wants to learn magic. He wants to learn swordsmanship. When he turns 5 years old, he goes to be baptized in this world's religion, which is how people in this world get their magic powers. There are 7 gods, and usually a person gets a blessing from one god, maybe 2 at the very outside, on a scale of 1 through 5. Right? So 5 being the best. And, for example, his sister's got a protection from the goddess of magic at level 2, and so can do, a little bit of magic. And that may grow when she gets older. When he goes for his baptism, a light shines and the gods surround him. So no. Okay. Because some people even get unique modifiers. Like there is a mystical rare thing that you can get called the item box, which is basically a magic bag. Okay, so he gets all 7 blessings at rank 10.
There's a 10? Okay.
Yeah, there is a 10 for him because all the gods there it's like, oh, he's such a good boy. We want to spoil him. We want to, we've been waiting for you. We've been waiting for you. You're special for us. And the goddess of the earth says, I've given you a special gift, and you'll see that when you get back. Just try doing things when you go home. And the god of creation says, I've given you item box and the create magic skill. The god of technology says, I've given you my blessing because the music scene here is terrible. I want to see some more entertainment. Things like that. It's like, feel free to use your knowledge of your previous life because it's getting boring over here. That kind of thing. And so he tries to hide his stats, right? He tries to hide them using the create magic skill to mask his abilities, but he doesn't quite know the scale, and so even his toned down version is like, oh, you could never show these stats to anybody. The world will think you're a threat and will hunt you down. This is too powerful. So at age 5, he's more powerful than like A-rank adventurers, that kind of thing. So, but he wants to learn. He wants to be part of this world. He actually wants to be a good boy, and that's kind of saving it at the moment. So he gets given 2 tutors, a magic tutor and a swordsmanship tutor, who are D-rank adventurers. And it turns out he's better than they are. But they do teach him for 3 years and show him what it means to be an adventurer, and what the world outside is like. So he's really grateful because he's never been outside of the family home before. So they convince his father to let them take him out. It's it's a little bit heartwarming in that sense. Either way, by episode 3, he's managed to save the life of the princess of the kingdom and her best friend, and because he was able to cast the magical relax spell on them, which makes them feel, it cleared all their worries and stopped the fear from seeing them, and made them feel better after that harrowing experience. They are now perfectly happy, both being engaged to him. So he's picked up 2 wives at age 10. Well, not 2 engaged. Here they are. Okay, so it's the daughter of the count and the princess of the kingdom. The blonde one's the princess. And I think it's summed up as well in the end credits, where you have this build up, the goddess of life and death in the background, show it against these 2 sitting on a windowsill. He appears out of the darkness and they leap towards him happily, right? Then further on in the end credits, another woman is in exactly the same position. The exact same thing happens. She leaps towards him. And then the king, in the exact same position, he leaps towards him. It's like everybody wants to love him, and he's just like, I actually didn't really want all this. I'm just happy to be here. I want to have a nice life here.
He's like an adorable puppy dog.
Yes, adorable puppy dog that can, if you tell him to, destroy your enemies and wreak havoc upon the world.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
Again, no, it's after 3 years with his teachers, they want to save up and buy one of the magic item bags that they're quite expensive, they're rare. So he goes out into the forest and kills the relevant monsters that are needed to make the bags. So he makes a green one for one, red one for the other, and says, so I didn't want to make them too powerful, so these ones can only hold, the mansion. And I've made a little enchantment on them so that only myself and you 2 can hold them. Otherwise, they're as heavy as if you had the full weight of everything stored in them. And so these are fucking national relic level items. What the hell? An expensive one would hold maybe a carriage worth of luggage. So it's light-hearted, it's funny, and I kind of want to see where it's going because of the way it's pacing itself. I just want to see how this turns out.
Enough.
I'll wait for you to come back and tell me how it ends. Well, tell me how good it ends. You know what I'm saying?
It could be cute.
Hopefully. Right. Can we move on?
Let's.
Let's, please.
So, my next one, my penultimate one, I'm pretty sure I'm not missing any, is my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999. So, I decided to actually go for something a little different, and as such, I decided to go for a bit of a rom-com, and I'm going to tell you the premise first before I actually give you my rating.
Okay.
the premise is effectively girl meets boy. Boy is raging gamer. Boy dumps girl. Girl sad. Girl wants to girl wants to get back with boy. Boy already has other girlfriend. Girl decides to actually get other guy at convention to pretend he is her new boyfriend. Drunk antics ensue, and they actually have feelings for each other. Right? So it's interesting. I'm certainly going to give this an acquired taste, and I'm going to give it 3 stars. All right, I'm actually really enjoying this one. It's fun, it's dumb, it's lovable, especially coming from the perspective of her, right? So she picked up this MMO game RPG to play with her ex-boyfriend. However, she got dumped, and she tried to just keep playing because she didn't want to keep thinking about him. This is him and the new girlfriend with her onlooking. And she decides she wants to try and keep the friends in the guild that they were a part of. I'm
getting vibes there of just that one scene from the live action Last Airbender movie.
Good for you. I have no idea what you're talking about.
What?
She has penis hair.
I don't
Oh, fair enough.
know. Not seen it. Anyway, so she is trying to get over him and everything, and she ends up confessing everything to this other guy who she bumps into at the convention, and he's a real looker, right? Turns out he is actually a pro gamer and actually plays on the professional circuit and things like this. She doesn't know this, but the ex-boyfriend certainly does. She ends up confiding everything in him, and he actually starts developing feelings for her, and she's starting to develop feelings for him. But he does not know how to process these feelings at all, right? He is very much games first, everything else second. So as a new gamer to the MMO scene, she's putting all her trash items that she's picking up off the floor into the community chest, and he's whinging that someone keeps on filling up the community chest with trash. And it turns out it's her, and it makes her feel bad, so on and so forth. And so he's got the tact of a bull in a china shop, right? It's very whimsical, it's very lighthearted, and it shows that there's more to just gaming than the game itself. One of the interesting parts, this is where episode 3 ends, where they've decided to meet up in real life. And she has a strong bond with the person that is the bunny girl you saw in the previous screenshot, who is the guild master. The guild master does everything within her power to make sure that our main love interest, our main girl, let's call her that, is happy, so on and so forth, and that she's still feeling part of a community and things. However, it does not appear that who she thinks is the guild master is actually the guild master. So yeah, and that's where the episode 3 ends off. It's a fun rom-com. It's nothing overtly special. It's nothing absolutely amazing. It is just fun,
So which one of them do you think will get a cold and spend? How in every rom-com one of them has to get a cold and be dead in bed.
Well, I don't know. Just getting absolutely shit-faced taken home to his place and basically looked after count as getting a cold.
That's very close.
It's very, very close. At the end of the first episode, she's like, "I'm gonna bath," and it's just as she like over his bed, and he's like, "No!"
That's some Miss Kobayashi plot points there.
Right. So it is fun. It is dumb. I'm enjoying it. It's something completely different that I wouldn't know. Well, there you go. Right. I think we should move on to this. This is the bit. This is the bit. It's like, I'm gonna bath. He's like, no, not my bed. Anyway, right, Nasuth.
Right. So let's go to Heavenly Delusion, which I know you also have a lot to say about.
I'm gonna leave you to lots.
Yeah. Well, fill in. First off, very easily a must watch. It's only 3 stars for now, but I kind of expect that to go up. We'll see. I want to leave wiggle room because I don't know exactly where it's going. This is Studio Trigger. Production IG.
Oh.
Production IG.
I was gonna say Studio Trigger. You fucking
Sorry,
okay.
not Trigger.
Yeah.
Production IG. Which, I mean, need I say more?
Yeah.
The art is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Setting seems to have a lot of thought put into it, like a whole lot of thought put into it. Not just this is just your random post-apocalyptic setting. I mean, they haven't revealed all of it to us yet, but there are clearly connections between these weird creatures that show up. I can't remember what they call them. And
The F is this?
I don't know. What is that?
I have no idea.
Interesting.
I'm gonna deal with that. You keep talking.
Yeah. They're Hiruko. That's what they're called. And they're, like, there's clearly a connection between them, like their appearance, and this weird walled off city. I'm not sure what it is. There's kids there, and there are only some people in charge, like some adults in charge. But it's whereas the rest of the world is this rundown, destroyed environment. The people inside this place live in like a technological wonderland. But none of the kids know about the outside. Like, they don't know anything that's going on out there. They don't know that it's being attacked by giant monsters. And yet somehow one of the kids seems to be drawing them, or at least has drawn one of them. So clearly they put a lot of thought into this. The characters feel like actual, like, real people. Like, they have a full range of emotions and motivations, and it's not just your typical character or anime archetypes. The fight sequences, oh my god, the fight sequences are so well choreographed, and they do not sacrifice any of the animation quality for them. Yeah. Some of the plot points are already starting to, like, come full circle. Like, oh gosh, like learning the girl's, I don't want to call her a girl. Is she a girl? Well, he does still call her One-chan, but yeah. Anyway, so I say that because one of the characters looks like a girl outwardly, but it's not that she's transgender. It's that they may have literally put a boy's brain in her body. It's really weird.
That is what they have done.
That's what's implied, but it could just be that she's that when she saw her little brother killed, that her personality, like, fractured or something. But I think it really is that, because there's this whole plot point about the doctor, and now he was doing weird tests on people, and yeah, it's creepy. I love it. It's so creepy.
They're exploring a lot with this series.
Yeah.
There is so much unknown. There is quite clearly 2 timelines going on. Right.
I don't know that there is.
I really think there is. I really think that the character on the left here.
Do you think he's the young one
that we saw? I think it's the girl that we saw just mere moments ago. Inside the lab,
the city, yeah.
It is a very interesting world setting. It is.
It's depressing too. Like the woman that they find at the inn, and her son was absorbed by one of the Hiroko. Yes,
Like,
yeah, 100%.
I would argue if you like The Last of Us, right?
Yeah.
Either the game or the series, right?
It's that sort of like, how do people deal with trauma sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. I think you will enjoy this, right? There are just so many cool elements to this that are impressive. The animation is phenomenal. It is like it is movie level anime, right? It is so well put together, right? I would, like, if I had to rate it on animation alone, it would get top marks regardless.
Yeah.
The story is impeccable. I really want to watch the 4th episode, but I haven't watched it yet. The elements of there are plot elements hinted in the 1st episode that actually have huge relevance in the 3rd episode.
In the 3rd, yep.
It's just like, my God, they have. And what really frustrates me is this is in Disney jail yet again, right? Okay, so listeners, viewers, you know what to do. I'm not gonna say it. No one here is gonna say it, but you know what you need to do, right?
Cancel your Disney Plus accounts.
But it's honestly, it's so well done.
Yeah.
Like, when this gets an English dub, I'm gonna watch it again.
Yeah. Just
regardless.
like, yeah, because I rewatched Summertime Rendering when that got an English dub and enjoyed it just as much, maybe even more the second time around, because I knew everything that time around.
I don't know how long this series is gonna be. I don't know if it's a 2-season or 1 season. But I'm just like, damn. Like, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, the whole flashback to the city, to Tokyo and the orphanage, and just, oh my God, just everything. Just everything.
The 3rd episode kicked it up a gear, and I'm like, fuck. Yeah. So, like, if you're not watching it, I'm sorry, I hate to say this, fucking watch it.
Go watch it. It is 100% a must-watch.
I think this is the anime of the season. Like, you know, that's bold claim. Bold claim.
But production IG, so not really that bold.
It's a shame we're not finishing on this as the last show of the day.
Yeah.
No, but I do want to. So I want to, since Witch Mercury has, is the 2nd season, I wanted to leave that for the end, because that's also really, really good. Anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So,
cool.
Shall we move on to my last one?
Yeah.
This is my reverse isekai of the season. It is Otaku Elf. Much like Xeno, I decided to go out of my way and find something that looks a little bit different. And I found myself a 5-star acquired taste.
Really?
Wow. Bold.
So it's acquired taste because you have to like the kind of slice of life thing that's going on.
Right.
This is definitely a slice of life. It's modern day fantasy slice of life. Reverse isekai because our character up here is an elf that was brought to our world hundreds of years ago. She was around to make friends with Tokugawa Ieyasu.
Because elves are very long-lived.
Yes, she's 600 years old. Now, she was asked by Tokugawa to watch over this land that became Tokyo. And so she's done that. She's basically become the goddess of a shrine. And even though she has no magical powers, she can speak to spirits, which she basically uses occasionally to send messages. But that's about it. That's about it for her powers. And sometime 60 years ago, she basically became a shut-in. And she is complete shut-in otaku culture obsessed. That is her thing. She collects models. She makes gunpla. She watches anime. She stays up gaming all night on her Switch. And
I mean, if you got a lot of time to fill, you might as well. It's a good way to do it.
Our introduction to her is through our new Shrine Maiden, our new Miko, who's actually talking to her in the background there. So the Miko becomes a Shrine Maiden after becoming 16 years old in the shrine. And as she's preparing for her day, a spirit in the air comes to greet her and draws her to come make your offering, I'm waiting for you. And then opens the door to this beautiful elf who says, "My Shrine Maiden, offer unto me a Red Bull."
Okay.
Yes, a Red Bull. Yeah. So she said, "No, you said you'd only have one a day." "Oh, but I stayed up all night gaming, and there's an anime marathon I want to watch the afternoon. Please." Okay. And so, yeah. So this poor girl here has got to put up with a complete arbitrary shut-in who is basically her allowance. And the thing that gets her these things is the fact that over the last 400 years, the original offerings of rice, sake, incense to the shrine have become the things that the elf likes. So the one of the things we saw on the thing is her receiving an offering, and there's watermelon Fanta, grape Fanta bottles, and one lady who works for a tech company dropped off a VR headset.
Oh my god!
Yes, which she was very happy about, and it's cute, it's gentle, it's a very, very old person, but somebody who's long-lived person that has become a shut-in because they were a bit scared of the outside and the change that's happening, and now is being drawn out of her shell by this new Shrine Maiden. So going out into the world just a little bit, meeting new people, trying to cut back a bit on the snacking, and starts off by meeting the Miko's younger sister, and then moving on to meeting her best friend. And when she gets upset and runs off to cry in the park, the elf elderly actually comes out to find her in the park, and is absolutely terrified and really wants to go home the entire time, but does it anyway, because that's her Shrine Maiden, her friend. It's little things. And it's also a nice little deconstruction of tradition and how some silly things can get made into serious things just because they've been done long enough. So a tradition in this shrine is that look at her. It's her first time out to a restaurant in the modern era. Anyway, so there's a tradition that when a new Miko arrives that winter at New Year, they introduce the Miko to the city by having the elf walk her through the city and following a strict route and taking it on a ceremonial meal at the end of the walk. And now, because she's really scared, she actually requests that everybody keeps their windows closed and doesn't come out to greet her. But they still walk through the city. It's lit up by lanterns, and they do the march until they find the other end of the walk is a convenience store, which elderly runs up to go and get some cup ramen. because this tradition started out 80 years ago, where that one time that she threw a tantrum and wanted soba late at night. She wanted midnight soba. And so the Shrine Maiden at the time spoiled her. He says, all right, we can go for some noodles. All right. And so ever since that point, she's demanded noodles at midnight on New Year's, and has gone walking to the convenience store to get cup ramen.
That's
and
brilliant.
And it's taken so seriously right up until that point.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I love it.
And yeah, it's the way that traditions can be something silly that, if done over and over again, becomes something serious. And I love that. It's a nice little deconstruction. It's cute. It is adorable, and I really want to see how this develops, because look at them. She's been collecting things since time immemorial. So when the first collector's items came out, which is where some company where they sold I think it's a medicine. When they sold it, they left a woodcut in the package. She collected those, and now she's collecting interestingly shaped bottles whenever she finds them, or she's using the donations to the shrine to go online and buy exclusive puddings so that she can.
Oh my god!
So that she can test those. But it's also historical as well, in the sense that she lived in a time back in Japan when ice was that strange thing. So they'd leave it in a cave in the mountains, and then they'd send somebody to go and get it in the summer. They wouldn't eat it, or put it in anything, but they could use it to cool fruit down, and they could touch it to keep themselves cool in the summer heat. And it was called blessed ice because of how it's ice in the summer. And of course, she did in fact try eating it and got sick to her stomach, and okay, but so nowadays, the ability to get food delivered by Amazon is, blessed ice.
Insanity, yeah.
Yes, it's so she really appreciates it. She loves that idea, and she also loves collecting stupid things she can order off Amazon as well, like the frog tank set. The frog tank set is kind of cool, I gotta admit. So yeah, I'm definitely going to finish this. This is you've got to be an acquired taste, because not everybody will like this, but it is so well done for that.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to give this a go. I'm definitely giving this a go.
I'm tempted.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. I'm tempted, but I don't know.
Right. Should we move on to my last one?
Yes.
You don't like slice of life stuff, do you?
Yeah.
So
that's why I'm only tempted.
Right. Okay. It is time for my last one. And I'm trying so hard to keep a level head here. Right. Okay. This is my home hero. Really. Okay. It's an acquired taste, and it's a 4-star. Right.
You wanted to give it a must-watch. What?
5-star.
Where did? There we go.
Right. I really want to give it a
must-watch.
Either a must-watch 2 or an acquired taste 5. Right. But in all honesty, I can't in good conscience do that, because it could go south. Right. You know how I rag on Death Note because it is a smart guy written stupidly? Right. This is a smart guy written smart. Right? So the premise is we have our loving family, mother, father, daughter. Daughter is a teenager and living on her own. The daughter's kind of distant from the father, and ultimately the father ends up meeting up with his daughter, and his daughter has bruises, right? A lot of bruises on her face. Daughter ends up daughter oh, screw you, dad, I don't runs out of the restaurant, and her dad ends up sort of going to her place to make amends. Lo and behold, this group of thugs, this group of Yakuza hooligans end up walking out of her apartment building, and he overhears the conversation, and basically this one like bleach blonde Yakuza says like, oh, I'm milking my girl for all she's worth, sort of thing. Her name is, and it's the daughter's name, right? So the father sort of like follows and is overhearing the conversation. Cut to a bit later. The father is trying to make sure that the daughter's okay and ends up going into her apartment, where he is caught on it, and he's like, sort of like investigating the situation, making sure she's alright, right? He ends up effectively caught in a difficult situation because the boyfriend's come back. So he's hiding in the closet, right? And is overhearing everything. Ultimately, the father ends up killing the boyfriend, right? And it is a case...
wouldn't you?
Well, basically, he does this because the boyfriend's like, as soon as I've bled her dry, I'm just gonna kill the girl. Right? I'm just gonna get rid of her. I'm just gonna kill her. And father hears this. Father's gonna do what a father's gonna do, and he's gonna protect his little girl. So he ends up killing the Yakuza boyfriend. But this has shit tons of ramifications. They are being spied upon. The Yakuza realize that their friend has gone missing. They realize the friend's gone missing within less than an hour, right? They've really quickly caught on. And I'm not entirely sure as to what the father's job is. I think he's sort of like a salesman, but he's massively into murder mysteries, right? Or something along these lines. I'm really not 100% sure on it. And he works really cleverly to sort of dispose of the corpse, right? You saw one of the first screenshots was basically there was the bath and it was sort of like silver foil. He lines the bath with cardboard and silver foil and basically bakes the he broils the body to get all the fluids out, and then so he can reduce the size of the corpse so it can fit in a suitcase, right? He does all these sorts of things, and it's really clever how he's doing it. He's created another persona of this handyman, right? That's cleaning up and things like this, and like he's really with it sort of thing. He does come up with a little bullshitty like I'm going to predict these things are going to happen. Not to the same point of putting a fucking TV in a bag of crisps, right? But he's doing he's like coming up with these things like he reckons at some point in time they're going to get questioned by the Yakuza, and they do. The husband and the mother are separated, and they basically have to give the same story, right? And it's really interesting how that plays out and things. So this is kind of like a murder mystery, but personally, I think there's a lot done right here. And you know how hard I am to please with this sort of stuff. It's like, this is unbelievable, right? This is one that I am really impressed with. I don't think it's going to be everyone's cup of tea, which is why it can't go into must watch.
You have to be into that sort of murder mystery, dark revenge plot.
It is super dark. It is so insanely dark. Because you got to take into consideration these are people that effectively. So you will have seen it earlier, where basically the mother, she has like kitchen film like pressed against her face, and she's pinned down on the floor. So you got to take into consideration these are not happy topics. The Yakuza have broken into their home, right? They are basically questioning them. The daughter's literally upstairs, right? The mum can't scream for help because that could put the daughter's life in danger, right? But it's so like the thriller drama element to it, right? To me, it's done right. It's not just drama for the sake of drama. There's no it was lucky that they asked this one specific question. Like he says to them, he says to his wife, like, if these are the list of questions that you may get asked these are the answers that you're going to respond with. If they ask you a question that's not on this list, just feign ignorance, right? You don't know, right? It's as simple as, you know. And it's really interesting how that plays out, because it does happen. Like, they ask her questions that, like, that's not on the list, right? Then just feign ignorance, right? It's really well put together. I'm really enjoying this show. I haven't watched the 4th episode yet because I didn't want to, you know, get too
unduly
hyped.
Yeah.
But I am really impressed with this. This is a murder mystery that, like, I can really get behind. But it really touches upon, like, sensitive issues, like, you know, people getting kidnapped, right? That's not something people want to, like, actively think on, like, how easy it is. So there you go. That's my one. I don't know if you have any questions.
No, I'm down.
Cool. Sure. Your last
Like
one.
the idea.
What? Sorry.
I have no idea what Thaylien said.
No, I said I like the idea, so I'm gonna give that a try. But later, if I have the time.
Cool.
Right, so on to Mobile Suit Gundam, The Witch from Mercury. So this is going to be a very spoiler-heavy review. I'll go ahead and give you my rating before I get into it, because it's it's pretty much all going to be spoilers. This is a must-watch 4-star. It's not quite... Why did the 4 stars not come up? My goodness.
Oh. Good.
There we go. This is not quite a 5-star. I mean, it could be... But you have to take it as a whole. This is part 2 of the first season. This is not a second season. And I think that for me personally, a lot of the duels in the first half of the season, a lot of that kind of weighed it down for me. It didn't feel like there were a lot of real life stakes involved. It was just like, oh no, I might not be the bride or the husband anymore. And yeah, that was okay, whatever. But I think they fixed a lot of that with season 2 as well. So let's let me just part 2. Yes, part 2. Let me just pop them spoilers on. Shit gets real in the second episode. Shit gets really real in the second episode. Like
Shit gets super real in the third one.
Yeah. Wait, is it the third one when they start blasting up the school?
No, that's 2.
That is 2. Yeah. So the Earthian girls from the last episode of the first part, right? Episode 12, 13, whatever.
Well,
they show up here in the school as quote unquote students, and due to a series of events where they're confronting the other Earthian girl who's kind of not on their side anymore, and Soletta discovering them, they get into a duel. I find the premise of them dueling a little bit thin in that regard, because like literally they are in the fur act, they could just crush them. But it's fine, because when they start the duel, they literally start shooting up the school. Sorry, YouTube. They want to try and get Soletta. They want to try and kill her, of course, but they have other goals along with that. Like, is it this guy? They want to stop this guy, or is that?
May I fill it in?
I know that the other guy wants to get a hold of this guy, but I don't think he's working with the Earthian girls, is he?
The reason why they don't just kill Soletta and Nika straight out, right, is because they still have a mission to accomplish. They're trying to investigate the Gund format for based on Fract, which is one of the Gundams, for their own personal reasons. But that's not their mission. Their mission is to cause a distraction so that this guy, who's the acting president of the group, can be kidnapped.
That's right? What it was, yeah.
That's what the mission is. I only really fully comprehended that because I watched it twice.
But there is that one crazy girl who does still just want to just go after Soletta, and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
She wants to fight Soletta to the point that she had previously.
Yeah.
That was like the major drive for her. To me, the third episode is just...
Oh my god, yeah.
Fuck.
Getting to see the Earthians, like, in their struggle, in their side of things. Getting to see this guy and this little kid's interactions, because this guy is one of the Yeeture sons, yeah, and he was captured. Yeah, he was captured in the last episode, or the last episode of the first part, whatever. And so he's being held prisoner down on Earth, and one of the kids is like, you know, why did you come back? Where's my father? Why is my father dead? Where are you here? Why are we taking care of you? And then the attack happens. The space attack happens in retaliation for, you know, what happened yeah. And kid is crushed. Kid is literally crushed by debris, but not dead. And they leave the Yeeture kid for dead, because he was also like buried, but not crushed the same way, you know. And he literally carries the kid, and he's like, "I'm gonna save you. I'm gonna get you to your people." And he does help the other Earthians, like, you know, escape, but in the process, she dies. And good God, it's crushing. Oh, it's crushing. They are really
pun not intended.
They are really laying on the Gundam. Yeah.
Yeah.
So while I was a little bit hesitant in the first half of the season because of a lot of the school stuff, I do think it has sort of put the starkness into Gundam. You know, you do see the peaceful world before it all falls apart, and the fact that these kids were in their own little bubble, and now that bubble is completely smashed wide open. You know, that's rough. That's really rough for them.
I don't.
Would you say that? I was saying, just for the joke, would you say this is the ultimate evolution of where American schools are going?
But I don't want to go into detail about it, but one of the community theories. They also was proven. You know, it was confirmed. And it was just like, you know, the true nature was just fucking harrowing.
He was just so matter of fact about it too.
Yeah, it was just so, like, you know, so this is one of the I think understated elements towards anime is just the delivery that a voice actress or actor can give for such monstrous news is just like, what the fuck is wrong
you did
with you?
What? Yeah, I know. Yeah, I did that. Yeah, exactly, because it's for the betterment of everyone. You know? Makes sense. You know?
It's the betterment for everyone.
Everyone.
And I'm everyone. You're no one. Anyway.
So yeah,
no, it's fantastic.
I'm really excited to see where this goes. Like, oh my god.
Should we take off the spoilers?
Well, one last thing. I want to see, like, if Soletta discovers this secret, if she doesn't already know, is that going to change the way she acts? You know?
I think Soletta
you think she already knows?
And I think it's going to shape the outcome that
you can already see her questioning some of her like core beliefs, because, like, she has this whole I don't want to kill anyone, but she keeps reliving the slap. And not just that, but also the fact that, wait, why does Ariel have all these weapons? Yes, that too. Yeah. If it's just for helping everyone, why? Anyway, yeah. I think we can take spoilers off now if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the big things for me, in terms of The Witch from Mercury, is I would argue by far, if you wanted to get into a Gundam with a serious tone, this is the fucking Gundam to get into, right? Everyone kept on banging on about Iron-Blooded Orphans, right? Iron-Blooded Orphans is good, right? But it falls flat towards the end. This still has the opportunity for Tamino to fuck it up, right? But thus far, damn, this is fucking incredible.
All I'm going to say is that tomatoes are very fragile and take a lot of effort, and if you treat them badly, they will smash.
Like I cannot express enough how much like
so good.
I loved Gundam Exia as like the Gundam design, and I'm like, God damn it, Ariel, stop getting in my heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyhow.
Oh, I can't remember, Thaylien. Have you watched it at all?
I have. I've been actually caught up in order to start this new season. I haven't managed to start the second season yet, but
part 2, but yeah.
Part 2. Haven't managed to start part 2 yet, but I did catch up with Witch from Mercury because of this season. Yes. Tomatoes.
I was so worried they wouldn't deal with that, but they did, and it's so good. Oh, yeah. All right. Spend enough time on that.
Yes, let's wrap this up. Right. Okay. So that's it for the 3-episode review. Certainly some to, well, if you're going by anything we've been saying, certainly some to avoid, some to pick up. I know
a lot of kind of midline ones, but you know.
Yeah.
And quite a lot of just middle of the road.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Right, so it's time to move on to the supporter questions. So, as Rugel says, before I start the supporter questions, I just want to say thank you to everyone. There's a 2 missing there. Thank you everyone for listening to our podcast so far. We really appreciate all the likes and the comments everyone leaves on these episodes. Also, don't forget to check out the new Discord. Right, link in the description below. Right, Zrugel says, would you like to
Wouldn't you like to be?
Wouldn't you like to be Pepper too?
A Pepper.
Sorry, I couldn't think.
Wouldn't you like to be a Pepper too?
Witty. It's the old slogan for Dr. Pepper.
Have you ever watched Short Circuit, Xeno?
It's just.
No.
Have you never watched? You've never watched Short Circuit?
Wait! Short Circuit.
With Johnny
I
Five?
think it's a Disney production.
Yes.
Oh, that. Sorry,
the
I was thinking
robot?
Battery's not included.
No.
Yeah,
Oh, that one's great too. Yeah, that one's probably even better.
Short Circuit was fucking God knows how long ago.
Same era, same general era. Yeah.
I know, but like Battery's not included is so much better.
But that's so Johnny Five runs across a billboard that has the Dr. Pepper slogan on it and reads it out that way. And I actually sent Zrugel, I posted an image of that to Zrugel in the Discord Patreon chat, and he was like, "Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking of."
Lol.
And then of course that caused Recuse to say, "Oh, sorry."
So
it's so misunderstood. So
yeah.
Ricky 7 plus I assume that's coffee equals Shade Etta. Johnny 5 Chainsaw Man crossover when Laser Chains 80s hair band riff here. Yeah.
Yep. I watched that.
Yep.
I'd definitely watch that.
I then tried to make AI create that, which I don't know. I don't think I could show to stream chat, but there it is. That's what it came. That's very Johnny. The one on the right's very Johnny 5. The one on the left, I don't know what that is.
Yeah. Anyway, right. Okay. So, moving on to the comments from last week. So first from the news, Zrugel says those Kirby desserts look so good. Stromus Shell says came back to comment even if I'm pretty sure you guys recorded already.
We hadn't.
Yeah.
Not yet.
And now for last week's cast, Edward Paddock says Nasuth, aka Scarface.
There you go.
Scarface. Oh dear.
Perfect nickname.
Right. Zrugel says I got 25 points, so Nasuth, you didn't get last place.
It's good to be the king, baby. Right. It's good to be the king.
Okay. When Zrugel asked Xeno to pronounce an emoji, Xeno pronounced that perfectly. Thank you. You're welcome. And then Strom Michelle says,
"Wait, why did I have that in there twice? What? That's not right."
I feel like you copy and paste the thing.
I did. I don't know what the actual original one was. Oh no!
So, Stromest Shell, I apologize. Let's see if we can find it quickly. If Nasuth's internet is not slow.
There we go.
It seems slow.
It is seeming pretty slow.
Slow. Nasuth,
I don't know why
did you pay your internet bills?
No. Do you want to pause?
Nasuth doesn't pay attention. No, I don't. I want you to suffer with how slow you're being.
Okay.
Stromber's Void Shell says, I'm surprised at how many I got right. Not that I'm super knowledgeable, I just picked real for every question.
That's...
He also says, oh crap, did I forget to comment on the news episodes?
Oh.
Yeah.
And also, in reference to Nasuth's head texture not matching his shirt texture, it's a fair point. His head doesn't match his shirt texture either.
Yeah, see?
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. Right, so that is it for the comments of last week. Please comment. Comments help us in every way.
They do indeed.
Hopefully the
hopefully my copy paste will work next time.
The Discord server will also help. Who knows? Right.
Oh yeah.
So maybe.
Right. You take Discord comments. Oh my gosh. Sorry.
Moving on to the memes. You can find more memes at twitter.com/Kanpai_cast. And in the future, we will also have memes appearing on the new Discord server.
Yeah.
On the new Discord server.
So starting out with the most powerful eyes in anime.
Oh my god.
You're welcome.
Okay.
You're welcome.
Okay.
I don't even know what
one.
I only know what two. I don't know what these two are.
Okay, so the third one is I'm pretty sure Gojo.
Is that Death Note? Is that the Shinigami eyes? No.
No.
I don't think so.
I think that's something like Hunter x Hunter or something silly.
Oh, maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but yeah, Gojo and yeah.
Yep.
Something Naruto based.
I was feeling this when I was trying to load my load the YouTube just a second ago. Very, very prescient.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then again, in that situation, you've always got the waifu body pillow. Ooh,
that's true. That is
true. Hang on, I recognise that meme.
You want your big sister to lick you all over? That's what you're saying, isn't it? We're siblings, so right? So there's nothing wrong, nothing to be embarrassed about. Welcome to Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Dear god.
Yep. No one in the world is your enemy. Everyone loves you, Capybara.
Oh wow!
It's true.
Wait.
So that's either an alligator or a crocodile. That's turtles, and that's ducks. That's ducks. And that's a cat.
There too.
I don't.
Yeah, there are in fact turtles there too.
There too. Yeah. Turtles and ducks.
Have you not noticed it? Have you not seen the capybara get along with everyone thing?
I love capybaras.
Yeah. They are so chill.
Unfortunately, they do get eaten by pythons, but so does everything. Amazon creates a tool that can help you turn up the dialogue relative to background music and special effects. Meanwhile, John Williams and Michael Bay.
Nice.
Brilliant.
And the last one's a video, so prepare yourselves.
Okay.
There you go.
Just to say, you've got the noise filter, and it cut out like all the music, but we got it.
Oh, that's fine. It's just, I mean, make sure that's off real quick though, because you guys will need to hear Thaylien's video meme.
Oh dear.
All right, so
not mine.
Not yours.
Okay.
The loneliest people are the kindest. The saddest people smile the brightest. The most damaged people drip the hardest.
What the fuck?
My god! This is all Jujutsu Kaisen, but like...
Yes.
Okay. Random.
You hurt weebs by laughing at their grandiose delusions. I insult weebs by saying Japanese comic/animation instead of manga/anime.
Oh,
We
wow.
are not the same.
Ooh, my blood's boiling right now. Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Oppa and I series.
Oh, my
Oppa I.
God. Oh, my God.
All right. Okay.
What's Naruto's last name? It's Shippuden!
I don't.
It's not a Shippuden. Shippuden's the second season.
Oh.
I think it's like Uzumaki or something like that.
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Naruto- Naruto, you, Shippuden.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Video meme.
There's only one of me in all the world. I am one in a trillion.
It's Berserk fans after getting the Brand of Sacrifice tattoo.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Oh.
Western motherfuckers hate anime but have the same shit. Young protagonist with a gift, anime Star Wars. Marketable animal character, anime Star Wars. Weird sister incest moments, anime Star Wars. Fan service, anime Star Wars. Evil Dark Lord, anime Star Wars. Gay midget porn. Protagonist family brutally killed.
Oh my god.
You're not wrong.
Not wrong.
You're not wrong.
No.
Not wrong.
Oh.
Right, okay, so for my first meme. Okay.
Oh god, it's still. Why does it work so
Wow,
well?
that reaction.
Why does
That
it work so
reaction,
well?
Okay.
Oh, my word.
Poetry. Got Berserk in there.
Yeah.
And Fist of the North Star.
Oh well, yeah.
Attack on
Poetry in
Titan.
motion.
Poetry.
Roses are red, violets are blue. Omae wa mo shinderu.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Next. Me. Monday morning.
Yeah.
It was a Monday.
Who the fuck said pss, 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 pss? Right. Me. Drugs. Trashy Sky.
Yeah, that is
Yep.
you, isn't it?
And then my last one. You aren't weeb enough, Sasuke.
Oh god. Oh
There you go.
dearie me.
Yep. Right, that is
I
it.
think they sell those now, actually. The
Like how? Like how?
Akatsuki suits.
Sweater.
Yes.
yeah.
Those.
Oh,
But
really?
With the with the hentai thing on, or the
Oh my
Ahago
God.
version of it.
Oh my god.
Because you are not. That's why they say you are not weeb enough, because you don't have one of those.
Oh my god. Right, well, that's it for this week's episode. Next week's episode, we haven't actually planned out yet. And yeah, that's it for this week's
Professional.
episode. So thank you very much for listening/watching. And now it's time to bottoms up and Kanpai!
Kanpai!
I've actually ran out entirely, so.
As always.